Battles where the valleys begin. My fists taught lessons of pain. Now I'm living life after the flame. After the rush, what's left to feel? Hard-hit truths, keeping it real. From bounty hunts to Ray's last call. We're telling stories, we've seen it all.
What's up, guys? I am still Trevor O'Connor. This is After the Final Bell, which means sitting across from me is my good friend and pugilist, Mike Gonzales.
Hey,
You're pugilist today.
Today.
How do you like that?
I like that for today.
Yeah, former pugilist, I should say.
Formal.
Formal.
Formal today. Former
most of the time. You don't do a whole lot of pugilizing anymore.
No, not really.
Only with mitts.
That's it. But my body's hurt.
When's the last time you put gloves on?
Let's see. It's been a while. I did actually no, like 3 weeks. I was running a little tech sparring thing for the pros, like on Thursday morning at 10, and there was it was an odd number,
Weird number.
So I didn't have shin pads. I had to order some anyway, and they were in the mail. But I put gloves on. That was a good time. I was like, oh, I'm
You get text a little bit?
Yeah. Oh yeah. And you could tell I'm not used. It's not that I'm not used to it. You could tell my body's not used to it because nobody was hitting hard, but the people I was with, my face was sore in the morning.
Oh.
Because it's like.
Yeah, tender.
Yeah. And I was like, I didn't even get hit that hard, but it's just when your body's not used to it.
I miss that feeling and don't miss it at all at the same time.
No. That reminds me why I don't want to.
Right.
Once
you're in condition.
Yeah.
And you've been punched a million times again. It doesn't. I mean, it's just just another Tuesday. But when you haven't in a long time.
Yeah. I normally don't put the gloves on the one-on-one sessions I do, depending on who you are. Mm-hmm. Because I'm also not a punching bag like I tell people. I'm not going to just be a moving punching bag.
Mm-hmm.
Like, we got to work together for a while before I start putting gloves on with you and doing those drills or whatever. So
yeah. And you don't want to just catch everything.
No.
Because it doesn't give them real life scenario type stuff.
No.
So if you're not coming back at them.
Yeah. Yep.
Yeah. I remember very vividly learning to keep my hands near my chin or returning my jab back to my chin.
Yeah.
Because as soon as I didn't,
bam. Yep.
Yeah, you'd whack me in the face a lot. But it was worth it.
All is well. All's going good, I guess.
You feel good though?
Yeah, I feel good.
I think you should do it more often now.
What?
Like every Thursday.
No.
Yeah.
No, because everybody, the people I don't work with, they're like, oh, I want to go with Coach. I want to go.
Yeah, everybody wants to dot Coach's eye.
No, I don't.
Everybody wants to do that, no matter what.
And then when I did it 1 week, and then the next week I didn't do it, and they're like, "Are you putting your gloves on?" No. There's
no.
Even number.
No. Look at you guys.
So
it wasn't going to be even, but I slashed the guy's tire up front, so he can't come in. I remember right when I got my brown belt that everybody in the gym at that point, everybody at the gym wanted to roll.
Always.
But dirty rolled in. Yeah. It was like everyone wanted to be the first.
Yeah, and prove a point.
Everyone wanted to be the first.
Yep.
You tapped me as a purple belt. It's okay. Same thing. Just a brown belt
What's
now.
the difference?
Yeah. Like
why
I don't have
is
too
that?
much ego. I don't know. You put a new belt on, or you win a fight, or anything. You level up, and everybody wants to be the first to.
That's crazy.
And they do.
No, they do. They do. Sometimes you got to tell them, chill, man. Like, hey,
easy.
Hey.
You want me to tap here? You win.
Yeah, it's easy.
Yeah, that I don't miss. I miss rolling a lot, and I need to do it.
Yeah.
Physically, I just need to
get out there.
Yeah, I'm afraid for my shoulder because I did not rehab well, and so I'm worried. But
me either. Look.
Yeah, I know you can't do anything.
Look,
yeah,
that's it. Rotator cuff.
It's been that way forever with you, though.
Yeah.
You've been catching mitts for 15 years, dude.
Yep, for a long time, and
And a lot of people don't understand that guys that like mitt holders and strike, they all day. It's boom, 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 and it's all tension against that part of your shoulder that doesn't.
Lately, I was just helping JJ. Then I got Chepe, and it was just them two, which is fine.
Which you could do.
But I don't know, I want to say 4 or 5 months, I've been doing 3 to 4 hours a day.
Yeah.
Normally Monday through Friday. You know, my body is like, oh dang, like
Yeah.
you can't do that anymore. You know, it's like
No.
so.
And to be a striking coach, and especially holding mitts, you know, you're not just holding your hands up.
No.
And that's what people don't understand. Like, you have to meet the punches, and you have to, you know, get them where they're at so that
Yep.
their hands feel right. And it's a lot. I remember even back in the day, you would come in, and I could tell that it was everything you could to get those shoulders warmed up, just to,
Everything.
yeah.
It's still like that. Well,
And back at 303, you would have like back to back to back to
Oh,
back.
worse.
Like, everyone would sign up, and if our time came, we would skip
Man,
class just to get our mid session.
yeah, and that was a fun time,
Mm-hmm.
but that's what actually reminded me, like, I don't know if I want to have a bunch of fighters.
You don't want a big stable.
You know, just because it's like there was that moment. I feel like we were fighting. There was fights every weekend.
There
I
was.
feel, you know what I mean, for a whole year almost. You
At
know?
that time, we had probably 30 fighters
there
on
was
the fight team,
mhm. And we were
pros
having
and amateurs.
2 or 3 on the card.
Yeah.
And it just like at the end of it, I was like, it was fun, but I was like, I don't talk to very many of them anymore.
No.
And it's like that's too much for
Yeah.
me.
And you were working with everybody.
Everyone.
Everybody.
Yep. Yeah, that was a good time.
We had other striking coaches.
Yeah, but I feel
How
like
come they
were
weren't catching mitts?
well, everybody wants to make money, you know, and that's
Yeah.
one of the things. Like in this sport, there is no money, really.
Until you get
You know, yeah.
until you get to a level.
And
yeah.
even so, like sometimes, you know, if you're spending a lot of time, even with like, you know, for JJ or Chepe, and if they, you know, Chepe and paying me, and I look over the course of 6 months of training,
How many hours?
you know what I mean? It's like, oh, $3 an hour, you know, or whatever. You know, like
Yeah.
it's a good lump sum,
But at least it comes in lumps.
yeah, but it's not
It's
like,
easier. It's
yeah.
easier to justify when it comes in lumps.
Yeah, and these guys that are on the regional scene and the amateurs, especially the amateurs, everybody's working 9 to 5, or
Yeah.
they do Uber, or they do DoorDash, or they do whatever,
Or they have
just-
a regular.
or they have a regular job to where it's like, you know, charging them 50, 60, 70, whatever bucks a
It's
session
3
is.
hours of work
Yeah,
for one
session.
1 hour session.
yeah, you know, so it's tough.
Dude,
for
I
them.
remember even way back then, I was amazed at how much money people didn't make.
Yeah.
Even pros.
Mm-hmm.
Pros on cards that I fought on were fighting for like 500 and 500,
Yeah. Yep.
plus a shitty ticket deal.
It-
They were giving them 500 and 500, so their ticket deal was like
Yeah.
almost nothing.
Nothing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I felt bad because I don't think I ever fought on a card that anybody on the card made more than me.
I know we were excited. I remember when JJ made her debut for Invicta, she was like, it was 1 and 1.
Yeah.
Oh, this is
1,000
awesome.
and 1,000. You're like, we're making $2,000.
Yeah.
Get
You
it.
know, which it's better than 5 and 5.
Yeah.
But it was like, you know,
It's amazing that on a local or regional circuit that promoters can get away with paying fighters absolute peanuts, like nothing.
yeah.
Nobody should fight for 500 and 500.
No, I agree.
Nobody.
No. None. Zero.
No. If you're a fighter that they can offer 500 and 500 to, maybe you should just be an Uber driver.
Yeah, you're not going to catch me fighting. I wouldn't.
No.
No.
But they do it still to this day.
But that's why.
To this day, they still get guys that'll fight for almost nothing.
Mm-hmm.
Pros.
Yeah, I always wonder why. But you know,
They can't get out of their own way or something.
that or I don't know. I don't know. Some people think 500 is. I would like I say what are we fighting for?
Yeah.
You know, because there are times where I talk to people. What's this fight? What is it for? And man, I'm broke. I need $500. Okay,
All right.
That makes sense. You know what I mean?
I'll take a 2-week notice fight
Yeah.
for short
You
money
know,
just
so-
because Christmas is in 3 weeks.
Yeah,
They
yeah.
offered me a short notice fight. They said they'd pay me $750.
Mm-hmm. Okay,
I don't care. I just need the money. Okay.
Yeah, makes sense.
We can do that.
But if it's just for I don't know, it's like, do you think that's smart then?
Yeah. If
You
you're in
know?
an 8-week camp.
Those are expensive.
Yeah.
They're
Nutrition, conditioning, strength.
everything. You know.
I mean, you're going to have jiu-jitsu privates. You're going to have striking privates. You're going to have wrestling private. I mean,
Yeah. And depending on how many
You
coaches.
spent more than your purse in week 4.
For sure. For sure. For sure. So if you ain't hustling tickets, I don't know, what are you doing? So.
And then to have to be a ticket horse to make money.
That's exhausting, man. I mean, you know how exhausting it is.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? You're constantly like that.
We sold tickets on tickets on tickets on tickets.
That's exhausting. You know?
And you're in camp.
Yeah.
You're beat up. You're tired. And everybody wants you to deliver tickets to them. And you're like,
it's like you're running around, all, between sport, working or training or whatever you're doing.
Yeah. That's the worst part of it all.
I mean, maybe it's easier now that they do online. I don't know. I don't think you can hustle tickets that well.
You can't hustle online.
No.
Because it's easy to say, yeah, I'll totally get some.
Yeah. I mean, I'm constantly, I'll get that. And then later I'm like, oh, I never bought that. Because, it's online.
Yeah. If I'm standing there with tickets.
Yeah.
I'm like, hey, remember you said you wanted tickets to my fight? I got them right here.
Yep.
I guess I'll go to my pocket.
Yeah.
Uh-huh.
Yep.
Yeah, I don't know how good the tracking is.
I don't trust.
Because a lot of the time the online sales would just be like, in the memo, put the fighter's last name.
We know how all that works.
Especially
we know how that works.
Especially in a local or regional scene.
Mm-hmm.
Nobody bought any tickets, man.
Nope.
But my whole family's right there.
There's a line. What?
We're not going to go into
comp.
Hold on. It's all comps.
Okay. Carry on.
Yeah. All right. So that will be the fight portion. We're going to cut ourselves off before we lose more friends.
Yeah.
Because we could right now. And that's okay.
Yeah.
I'm going to try to hit this earlier.
Okay.
Earlier in episodes rather than later.
All right.
We have a phone number.
Yep.
It is open 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. You can call and leave us a voicemail. You can call and text us. I don't know why I ended up in this situation, but I'm having a lot of text conversations with a lot of people across the country, and just
Trevor can have his own podcast on just text message.
having a hangout. 303-578-8680. If you want to call and leave us a voicemail about something we talked about, or you want to suggest a topic that you would like to hear us talk about, we will play the voicemails on air. If the text messages are statements or a question that can be answered about the show, I'll like screenshot them or something, and Kay Miller can put them up. I'm not going to lie. The text messages, they're for Kay Miller and Vinny.
Yeah, probably.
Most of the time, they're like, "Hey, how you doing? It's so great you're doing your podcast, everything." And I'm like, "Oh, thank you so much for your support. I really appreciate it." And they're like, "Yeah, but can you send me the link to Kay Miller's podcast?"
Oh, didn't know I was a receptionist.
I can.
Yeah, here it is.
I can. Here we go. Or I was just wondering how Vinny's doing. Well, she's laying currently in my bed on her back with her head on a pillow,
I'm just relaxing.
just chilling. She's living her best life. All day, every day. So, anyway, I have a lot of text conversations. At least 5 conversations I have still going right now.
Oh wow! You guys become friends now.
I mean, we go way back. We go way back.
Yep, we're friends
So call and leave us a voicemail, 303-578-8680. We'll play the voicemails on air. Usually the podcast after. Obviously, not the podcast during, but the next one we record after the
voicemail.
Yeah, after they come up. I really would like to hear some topics that they would like us to cover.
That would be fun.
That would be fun. I want to know, what opinions do you want from 2 guys who definitely don't have the facts?
Yep. Just opinions.
Because I can tell you my opinion. Yeah,
all day.
Put up anything, and I'll tell you.
Yeah, we're open. Whatever you want to know.
Yeah, anything. I don't care.
Yeah.
It's all there.
I got something for everything.
Oh, just load it up. So, we are done with the fight portion.
Yes.
Probably. We'll probably circle back around to something fighting. If you don't know, if you're just joining the podcast, you haven't been around for episodes 1, 2, 3, 4, or 5. This is 6. We're on 6.
Already.
I am a former local MMA fighter.
Yep.
Mike is a current UFC striking coach. Mike was my striking coach for my entire fighting career. His spouse is JJ Aldrich, who is a UFC flyweight rostered fighter. He's also a UFC striking coach for several other fighters, including Chepe, and some other local and regional guys too. So that's why fighting happens a lot, because that's where our relationship is based. We both came together through fighting, but we are not just about fighting. We want to talk about anything and everything that's going on in the world. One thing that I don't know why, but I've been stuck on this a lot, and I've been stuck on this since we recorded the last podcast. Because Elsa has been visiting colleges, and you're getting ready for this wrestling season to prep her to hopefully get a scholarship of some sort to go to school. To go to school. And don't get me wrong, I am all about it. I'm 100% about it. If someone is going to pay for school, you know, if someone wants to give me a scholarship, I'll go back to school right now.
Yeah.
I went to school a long time ago. But then I started thinking about it more and more, and I'm like, why do we need secondary education so bad?
I'm more on the line of, like, you don't have to go to school. You don't. You really don't. But whatever it is you want to do might call for you to get that education.
Does it really?
I mean, only because the piece of paper.
Does it really?
I think so, because you can't just...
What job?
Like Delilah.
What she want to be?
She wants to be a CSI. That's what her goal is, right?
So ultimately, in real world, let's say,
Yep.
would having a degree in criminal justice be the most beneficial for her to go be a crime scene investigator, or would a course, whether it's a year, 2 years, 6 months, however it works, where she is completely absorbed into a CSI hands-on training situation, work better?
I think both can work.
Okay.
I don't know exactly what route. Obviously, the whole school thing. I'm on the thing of, you actually don't need an education. It's probably a good idea. You know what I mean?
I prefer people to be educated. I don't know that you require an education.
I don't think, because the older you get, you realize all that is just BS. You know, I don't disagree with that. I think that whatever it is that you want to be calls for you to do whatever it is. Like fighting.
Yeah.
You don't have to even go to school, kindergarten.
Nope, you can fight.
If you can fight.
If you can punch, you can fight.
You know what I mean? Like like you don't.
No.
But how many people make it? Not very many, right? If you want to be a doctor, you probably got to go to school.
See, now,
You know,
here's a doctor or a lawyer. Let's keep them in education. Let's make sure they have to go A, B, C, D. You know, let's not skip any steps there. Because a lawyer, I need them to understand the law completely. And I think that's probably the best place to do that is in law school.
so here's the question then. Because, you know, I talked to Claire, one of the other one, and she's an accountant. Right. And now she got injured. Then she's going to, she's now going to they're going to have a baby.
Right.
She started to go back to school.
So she's transitioning from fighter to family a little bit.
Yeah. And now she's going to be she wants to get CPA license. I don't know, something like that. Whatever the next step is. And I asked her, because I was talking to her about her work, and it sounds like she's doing everything.
That's
already, right? But I said, well, then why do you have to go back to school? And she's like, I need the piece of paper.
For the salary, they want Okay.
And the piece of paper helps me get that salary.
So, directly in line with that, I am a financial analyst for an oil and gas company.
Yeah. But what's that piece of paper?
I don't have. I have a piece of paper.
Yeah.
Has nothing to do with this.
Okay.
Zero. I started out as a file clerk. While I was fighting, they were willing to work around whatever schedule I wanted, and I would go in, and I was just a file clerk. And one of the people in the company who kind of took to me early on, and recognized that I maybe had a little more brain power than a file clerk. When I was only supposed to be like 3 weeks, but I did the job in like 8 days. And he was like, no, you're not. I was like, well, I'm pretty much done with everything you guys needed. And he's like, no, you're not done. Someone who works like you, I'm going to keep you employed. So we're going to find something for you. And they kept finding thing. And then I ended up as, I was an accounting analyst. So I would go through and find errors or overages or double bills in all of their invoicing in oil and gas. And then I was in charge of balancing all the ledgers. Then I took on the role of taking care of all the tax implications, all the 1099s, everything, all the way through the company. And then obviously as I transitioned into filming the show, I backed off a little bit and I became just a consultant basically for them, looking at different projects.
So you're saying
no degree in accounting.
So is it the people you know then, like or opportunities that
it's
just
opportunity? It's opportunity. It's being able to capitalize on opportunity.
Yeah.
So in the financial structure of the company, there's the CFO, there's the controller, and then there's me. So I don't have a degree. I don't have an accounting degree.
Yeah. I mean, I don't disagree with none of that. But
Now, to get that job, you would have to have the perfect storm, exactly as I did. That opportunity opened up. I capitalized on the opportunity. And then, trust me, I spent many, many, many nights at home learning how to do the jobs that they were asking me to do.
Yeah. And I mean, and I always think that on-the-job training is better than school. I've always thought that.
100%.
You know what I mean? I don't understand why there isn't schools that do that and then give you the piece of paper.
Sure.
You know what I mean? I think
if you can show proficiency.
Yeah. And they gave my nephews a choice. My sister and her spouse, they gave my nephews a choice, and they said, "Hey, you're either going to have to go to college and get some kind of education, or you're going to have to find a trade school."
Sure.
And I guess the trade schools are shorter, right? Whatever it is.
Well, yeah.
I don't know.
Right.
Well, one of them went to be a plumber, and the other one went to do body work, I think, on cars. Like he does.
And now
like,
they both make $100,000 a year.
Now they make, they're working, they got their own place. So I don't disagree with that. I mean,
trade schools are great.
Yeah.
Trade schools are great. They're not also required, because you could drop out of high school legitimately, go get a job as a laborer with a plumbing company.
And then,
over the next couple of years, practical knowledge, you would learn everything you need to do, because all you have to do is go take a journeyman's test and then take a master's test, and you could be a master plumber.
Yeah.
Without ever going to a trade school.
Do you think it's the time then spent?
I think,
like obviously the schooling might make you pass some of those steps.
Because
Because you're still going to do on-the-job training, right? Like I believe that no piece of paper prepares you for the job. I don't care what it is, right? You're constantly just doing.
It's like being a YouTube jujitsu.
Yeah, and exactly, right? You're just, once you get hired at X company, whatever, you
got to show.
You got to be on the job training. They're going to teach you how they want.
Sure. Most of the time, because we had several interns come in to the company that I worked for, right out of college, coming in as an intern, trying to figure out, dumb as mud.
Yeah.
Like they did not know they thought they knew a lot.
Yeah.
They didn't know anything. You basically had to bring them in and then teach them. They were engineers, how to be engineers within your company.
Yeah. On the job.
Well, in the internet, the world is so advanced with information.
Yeah.
That if you can learn the job and master the skills, does it matter? Does it really matter?
I don't think it matters.
Like if you had to design an oil well, we'll just say, general, like it's an oil well. It's got to go down. It's got to get oil out of the ground and get it up. If you can hire one guy who's going to do it exactly as it was done in 1950s and as the textbooks teach you all the way up through engineering, or you have this internet kid who has worked the models, figured out all, you know, I mean, and maybe even found a more efficient way to get the oil out of the ground, but he does not have the piece of paper.
Yet, well, I look at, I think this social media in a way, right? Not just Facebook, Instagram. I'm talking also YouTube, everything, right? Everything. I think that itself is in a university in itself.
Oh yeah,
you know
YouTube
what I mean?
University, 100% a real thing.
You can learn
Like
so
YouTube
much.
actually probably needs to make a YouTube University where you could get degrees based on.
Because you can
How
type
many
in
things have you taught
anything.
yourself?
Oh, a lot, everything. People are like, "How do you know how to do this?" I'm like, I know everything, but
Yeah.
I
Realistically, I
spend a
watched
lot-
9 YouTube videos and get a little piece of each one of them until I could put it all together.
Yeah. So like for me, like that's why I say like I think it's the most underused. Like we can learn a lot, and I'm sure that you can be an accountant off of YouTube. I'm sure you can go to be a CSI. You could do whatever it is that you want to do.
And I know this for fact because I have kids in high school, and they bring home math.
And none of the math is useful.
And none of the math is math that I did,
No.
how I did it. So guess what I have to do? I have to go to YouTube University and figure out how they're doing the math now so that I can have a conversation with my kid about how her math has to get done.
Yeah. Because otherwise you're lost.
I can answer the question.
Yeah. I think overall the stuff's a scam anyway. A lot of it.
School.
Yeah, just in school, the universities, all that
So
stuff.
here-
Like because obviously they need tax dollars. They need, so you know what I'm saying? Like,
Here's the thing. Some kids, in my opinion, need to go to a school right after high school, such as college, which ends up usually being kids with like liberal arts degrees. But because they need to move out of their parents' house and learn how to live in the real world.
yeah,
Now, a lot of these parents don't let them live in the real world. They continue to coddle and spoil. And then we get adults that don't know how to live in the real world.
and that's part of the reason why when we talked about Delilah going to school, me and JJ, we're so persistent on if you can only get in here locally, then fine.
Then it is what it is.
But if you have the opportunity to leave, I think that's a great idea.
You have to.
You know what I mean? Because it's like you can't tell your kids how the world's going to teach them because we don't know.
Right.
You know what I mean? All you could do is help them.
Right.
You can't protect them though.
I've always said, and I try to, I really, really make a major effort to try to guide my kids and not steer my kids.
Yeah. Yeah.
I let my kids bump their heads because I want them to feel the sting of a mistake. I want them to feel what it feels like to make a mistake, and maybe it costs you money.
Yeah.
You know, maybe you didn't think cars needed oil changes, but guess what they do?
Yeah.
And then you end up with a big mechanic bill, and I'm like, man, it's going to suck to pay.
Yeah.
You know, I allow them to bump their heads on things that will, show them that the stove is hot. Don't do that. Or the reason you don't do that is because see where you're at right now.
Yeah.
I don't let them get into things that are so over their head that we
Yeah. They're going to get hurt somehow.
right,
like,
right. Or
or
worse. Yeah.
You're going to let them fall. You're just not going to let them hit the ground.
But I truly feel that my kids have all been raised in a real world situation where when they leave my house, they don't fall prey to dumb shit all the time.
Yeah.
My kids see through stuff really well.
And that's important, because now, like, I don't feel like kids nowadays are as smart because they have too much information right at their hand rather than, you know what I'm saying? Like, like I tell my daughter, I said, how do you know which way we're going? Like when we were going home, there's times where
What
it's just
direction are
like,
we traveling?
Yeah, well, that or it's like, hey, we're gonna go home, get us home, and then I know I know that we're not going the right way. But it's like
We're not going to go 2 hours the wrong way, but we're going to go a little bit.
and we're not gonna run out of gas,
Right,
Like,
right.
So like they don't even know sense of direction because you got maps.
Right. Now, I will admit that I am guilty. Excuse me, I got a little thing. I am guilty of being as big of a problem with GPS as anybody has ever been. Not because I don't know where I'm going. I could drive in the Denver metro area. I could drive anywhere.
Yeah.
If a car had no electronics and I had no phone,
You're fine.
I could get there.
Okay.
I mean, I've been here a long time. But I also turn on GPS everywhere I go.
I do
Even
too.
if I've been there a million times.
Why do you do it? I know why I do it.
I do it because I get distracted in my own head. And I just start driving. And then I look up and I went 10 miles past the turn I should have made because I was just processing, dealing with, thinking about, or I end up in a phone call.
So you just kind of lose track of
And
where
I just keep driving. So if I have GPS up, at least it interrupts my phone call through Bluetooth and is like,
take a left, take a right.
Recalculating.
I only do it.
Recalculating.
The only reason I do it is because I like to see where traffic's at.
That's the other reason.
Like JJ is like, you know how to get everywhere. Because one, I don't like drive. I will drive on the freeway. I'm not afraid to. But if
You're not all completely afraid.
No, we drove on the freeway here. I like driving the back way. I enjoyed just driving on regular
Surface streets?
Yeah. So I know how to get around so much. I just like to, it's yellow. Oh, it's red. Okay, let's go this
I'll
way.
move over here.
Yeah.
That is definitely the other reason I always throw GPS up. Because before we had GPS, you didn't even know if there was traffic.
None.
You would just start and then you're like, I guess
Here we are.
it's going to take me 2 hours.
But I feel like that helps us. I feel like the GPS stuff helps us run a little bit later also for those facts.
Sure. Gives people that little bit of, how long is it going to take? Okay. Yeah.
Yeah. I do. I'm guilty. I turn it on all the time too, just because of that.
Now, my mom has lived here as long as I have because we moved here when I was like a baby.
Okay.
So we've been here the same amount of time. My mom used to drive everywhere. Never had a problem. Then my mom didn't drive for a little while, and then she started to drive again. Not now. She can't drive now. She would get so in her head that she would get lost because she didn't know where she was or how to get where she was going.
After she started redriving.
Right.
Okay.
And she would call me on the phone, and I'm like, Mom, here's the deal. Where are you going? I'm going over here. What's that by that you've been to a million times? Oh, that's over by okay. So if you were right now, you just had to go head over to that place that you know.
Yep.
And that would get you close, and then you can make a couple more turns. Would that work? She got to a point where she can't see the big picture. I'm going to this address. I don't know how to get to that address.
Yeah.
Yeah, you do. Yeah, you do. You know 3 blocks away from there is whatever, Casa Bonita.
Yeah.
If I told you to drive to Casa Bonita right now.
You can get there.
Yeah.
My mom's boyfriend, he doesn't believe in the technology stuff, right?
He just drives.
He just drives. He doesn't even have a smartphone. It's a flip phone. Oh, I don't even know how long ago he got it. Yeah. Yes.
There's not a new flip phone. Not one of those new ones that opens up to a bigger screen.
Oh, no. Oh, no. Oh, the old ones were
like still T9 texting.
Oh, yes. Yes.
You really got to want to text.
And he'll say, "Hey, can you help me?" Or can you, yeah, and we'll drive or whatever. He still uses a big old atlas.
A map book?
Oh, yeah.
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 When I left Greeley from college, I moved to Longmont, and I got a job delivering furniture for Woodley's Fine Furniture.
Oh.
It's not a plug.
No.
At that time, we didn't have like Google Maps or GPS like that. You got your route, so you had like 9 deliveries that you had to make that day.
Mm-hmm.
And you hope that the guy that scheduled your route scheduled it somewhat in an out and back type fashion, but a lot of times they didn't. But all we had, each truck had a map book of the Denver metro area, and then one of Colorado Springs and one of Northern Colorado. And watching guys come into that job the first time, and you put them in the passenger seat and have them start being your navigator, and they get to the end of the page off the side, and they're like, what do I do? What do I do? Because on the side of the page it says move to this page, but they don't. They're like
they don't know.
They try to turn the page to the next page, like it's just going to come around the corner. Yeah. So I delivered furniture like that for like 3 years.
I feel like that taught you how to drive around though, and like
I know where everything
have
is.
those checkpoints, like you were saying with with your mom, have those checkpoints of where you need to go.
Right.
Like I struggle a little bit, because Denver's developing so much.
Yeah.
If you get out there somewhere, it's like
Right.
like no.
But at least like this is south end of town.
Yeah.
If I'm not traveling
Yeah.
south,
Yeah.
something's wrong.
Yeah.
Because we have the mountains here.
Mm-hmm.
So the mountains are west for us.
For sure.
Always west. If you're in the Front Range and you look over and the mountains are on your left, you are going north.
Yes.
If they're on your right, you are going south.
Yep.
If they're behind you, you're going east.
That-
That's Colorado. That's all you,
and that's
all you need to know.
Easy
But then
about,
but then there's nighttime
yeah.
or clouds.
Or clouds. You're right.
But we do have mostly sunshine.
But I feel like Colorado's so easy. You've been to some states where it's like the interstate system is just
Florida.
like, yeah, you got to go turn this way, then go back this way to get on the highway to go back this way.
Dude,
You
in
know what I
Florida,
mean?
especially around like Fort Lauderdale, Miami, that whole southern end of Florida, it's 45 minutes to go 5 miles, and you have to be on 6 different highways. And it's like, take the exit to the left. And while you're on the exit, it says, now take the exit to the right. Now take the exit to go straight. And you're back on the same highway you were on.
Yeah.
But you had to do and the exits have exits, and nothing works.
Nope.
We call it the Florida left because all you do is U-turns.
Oh gosh.
So like, go down here, take a Florida left because you're coming back. Yeah. Florida's terrible. Like
yeah,
their
no.
highway system is terrible.
I feel like
Colorado's
here,
easy. I-25 goes north and south. I-70 goes east and west. And then your numbered streets get higher as you go north. And then your named streets,
Yep.
are
to go south.
are the ones that go north and south. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. No,
Yeah, we're gridded out pretty good.
yeah, it's easy.
I went to college in Greeley where the majority of the city is numbered both directions.
That's
One way is streets, the other way is avenues.
yes.
So First Street and First Avenue.
Yep.
You get a little confused when you first move there and people are like, I live on 8th and 24th.
What does that mean?
You always leave with street
18th Street or whatever.
and 24th Ave.
Yeah, I mean,
Once you know that, you
It's
know
fine.
it, then you're fine. But until you don't, you have GPS.
Yeah.
Boy, we went on a tangent.
that's
That came from secondary school
yeah.
education.
But that's why you shouldn't say you don't need it.
YouTube University can get you through 90%
But
of life.
It can. It can. You could find anything on YouTube.
Well, and look at software developers, people who write code, people who design video games. 90% of those people just know how to, like
They're just
they've
talented.
been doing it for their whole, it may have changed. They may have like been writing code for a video game, and then they grew older and they transitioned that knowledge into, and now they're doing this.
One of the things I used to tell when I used to go look for jobs, I always, and it never failed me, and it always got me a job. Because I dropped out of school, and you're like, you don't have
Right.
no. I said, I'll make you a deal. Whatever your probation, 30 days, 60 days, whatever. If you don't like what you see, we can part
I'll
ways.
quit.
Yeah, no questions asked. No, I'm not gonna hold no ill will.
I'll walk away.
And they're like, the last job I had with that company that I was working for medication, the guy's like, deal.
That's all I've ever wanted in life was call it a chip in a chair.
You know what I mean? Like I can show you what I can do, just because I worked in a lot of warehouses and I've got a lot of experience.
You had a
right?
basis of knowledge of what was probably going to come.
And I quit putting how much experience I had because there were a couple jobs that I really wanted that they said I had too much experience because they didn't want to pay.
They didn't want to pay you.
Right? Yeah. So I quit saying how much experience I had so that I can at least if I can talk to you and tell you that, I'm probably going to get the job.
Yeah. Sure. If I can sit down with you,
yeah,
we can find something that works.
So
am I willing to accept less up front for the opportunity because I know I'll make more on the other side? Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, that happens.
Yep.
A long time ago, I needed a job real bad. So I went to an excavating company. I got a job shoveling chips, which is basically the guy in the bottom of the ditch when they're digging like for all of your underground utilities.
Yeah.
I was the guy that stood in the bottom of the hole, and they would dump the pea gravel in or the small rocks, and I would shovel them
Like
flat
evenly. Yeah.
so that when they put it in, you know, it could keep it at the proper pitch so that the water or whatever would travel. I was amazed at how many guys got that job and that stayed their job. There are guys that shovel chips for 2 or 3 years. So I started shoveling chips. 2.5 years later, I was the general superintendent of the company. Because I was going to learn one way or another.
Yeah. Yeah.
And that's how I think life really goes.
Yeah.
If you're willing to take less, but you're going to hustle and learn, you can always level up. You can always find a way.
But
I used to take the plans home from the foreman at night
and check them out.
and teach myself, because I know we did this yesterday. So I'm going to look at the numbers and how what we did yesterday was this, and how did we get there? And I just go through the process in my mind. Okay, we did this, we did this, we did this, we did this.
Yeah.
So it got to the point where I would take the plans home and I'd learn them. And then it got to the point where I would show up like 30 minutes early and lay out all the fittings for as far as I thought we would go that day. Instead of digging a piece and then have someone having to run and get fittings and come back, I would show up early and just lay things out so that we were set up.
Yeah.
You know, made everybody's day easier.
Might have to move it just a tad bit, but you're not going to have to be making
I was
trips.
close.
Yeah.
I was close. But it immediately almost got me from being the guy in the bottom of the ditch to the guy on the top of the ditch.
And I think a lot of people are some people are okay with what they're doing, which there's nothing wrong with that,
Sure.
because I feel like
If that's where you want to be, if you've achieved exactly what you want,
you know,
and you don't want any more,
and you're happy, fine.
the money you make is fine, the amount of responsibility you have is fine.
Yeah.
I'm not going to shade you.
But I also think that there's so many of those people in jobs that that's not my job. And, I don't get paid for that. Or I want to get, and if you look for all that money up front, you're never going to get it.
No. And that's not my job, or I don't get paid for that. Until a company has proven that if you do more, they're never going to pay you.
Yeah.
Always do more.
Yep.
Always do more. Yep. I've always done more everywhere I went. Always do more. And I always ended up being on the right side of things. Also because when I got with a company, if I noticed right away that the culture was bad, I'm not sticking around.
No.
I may stay. I'm going to work there until
Yep.
I have something else lined up.
Yeah.
And then I'm out.
I think you got to be observant of people,
Right.
and how things
Culture.
are. You know what I mean?
How are
Because-
things going? How are the employees? Why has everybody only worked here for 3 months?
Yeah.
You know, why is your longest employee a year?
Yeah. Yep.
That tells me a lot.
Yeah. I mean, the company that I worked for, that I was dealt with medication, their longest employee, and you're talking U.S. wide, I think he was the third on the list at that time, and he was there 45 years.
Yeah.
Right.
When you got companies like that where the majority of people have been there a long time,
Yeah.
there's a reason.
Yeah. And between him and his dad, they had over 100 years in that company.
Sheesh.
Like
Yeah.
it was the only job that he had out of high school. Had a family, so he's got his
Right,
job there.
got it there.
And the next guy
Dad
that I
worked
worked
there,
with,
got me on.
I think he was like 35 years.
Mm-hmm.
And it's like, everybody's been here a long time.
And that's where you can also learn, if you are willing to self-reflect, if everybody's been at the company for years
Yeah.
or for a very long period of time for the occupation, and you're the one that's always butting heads, maybe you need to reevaluate who
Yourself.
you are
Yeah.
and what you're doing.
Yeah.
Because there's a lot of people in this world, way too many people, like more people than you would ever want to fathom, who now are so entitled and believe that they are above everything in the world that they refuse to do anything.
Yeah. A lot of those people work for the union too, because
And
they're
those-
notorious for,
Sure.
that's not my job.
Well, though, I think as a society, we need to start squeezing those people.
Mm-hmm.
And because they get away with so much
Yeah.
because they they cause the, they'll be the squeaky wheel. They'll make the noise. And especially in companies where everyone's been there a long time, they're just like, hey, can you deal with this guy? Hey, can you help? We got to figure this out, because they're always the victim in every situation, every situation. So then these companies are like, how are we failing this employee? What are we doing? No, you're not failing the employee. The employee is a failure.
Himself or herself or whatever.
And people refuse to look at that. Because I see people online all the time where they get a new job and they're like, well, they asked me to stay 30 minutes late, and that's not my response. No, they need to schedule better. They need to do this. They don't need you is what they need.
Yeah.
They need to replace you with someone who wants to be there. Mm-hmm. Now, like I said, inversely, if you've been there a little while and you understand that the company is just milking every employee for everything they can get with no intention of ever making it right, that's completely different. But I don't think that's the case most of the time. I think people have become so entitled. People have become so expectant and so victimized that
because it's easy to pull those cards.
Anything.
It's easy to pull those cards.
They asked me to take my lunch 5 minutes late. I need a labor attorney. I'm like, no, you don't.
No.
You need to learn how to work.
No.
You need to be hungry at one point in your life.
And I think it starts early. Mm-hmm. I think it's teaching your kids how to fall, how to they bump their heads like, oh, maybe we should try this. Maybe we should try that. Maybe you've got to. Delilah I made her get a job at Wingstop, or it didn't make her. She was applied, right? And I was joking with her one time. I was I was joking with her one day, and she got paid in one of her first checks, and then I said, "Hey, you owe me the gas money, this and that." And I said,
"What's up?"
I said,
"Break it off."
You see how fast it goes,
right?
It doesn't.
So if we broke down your check today proportionally for the month, rent is X, gas is this, insurance is that, food with the food that's in the house that doesn't just show up.
Yeah.
So you made negative $27 this week.
She's like, gee,
Yeah.
And I think that starts early. I think I'm guilty of it sometimes, making it a little too easy. You know what I mean? But at the same time, I'm also, hey, no, listen up.
I've been blessed. All 4 girls worked early. Like in their early teens. They all 4 of my daughters got jobs early.
Okay.
Now, I'm also guilty of being like, oh, it's daughter bonus day.
Yeah.
Here's some money. Here's some this. Here's some that. Or obviously my kids know that when they are in a bad spot, that I'm going to help them out.
Yeah.
It's very interesting how different the girls are in what's a bad spot.
Yeah.
I mean, in their mind, it's a bad spot. If they're willing to call me, if they're willing to come to me, and my thing is, come to me. I don't want to hear about your problem completely. I want to hear how you plan on resolving the problem and what my help is going to do to help you not be in this problem again.
Yeah.
Period.
So what's a bad spot to you? Like for them? Like, oh, they're going to crash and die? Or is it like they're going to get kicked out? Or
yeah, I'm talking about like financially.
Just anything.
Yeah, bad spots. If they're going to call and ask me for help.
Yeah.
I've raised them in a way that if it's a spot you caused yourself, if you're going to ask me for help, you better show me step by step how you've already tried to dig yourself out of the situation. And we're just, I was this far behind on whatever. I've done this, and this. There's no more money at the end of the week for me to get
this,
whatever, over this hump. Don't call me when you're like, oh, I need X. What have you done? Well, nothing. I need X. Call me when X became Y.
Yeah.
Call me when you broke through all the possible ways, all the scenarios, everything that's going to happen. And they're pretty good about it. My daughter, Autumn, she's probably like the most responsible.
Okay.
If she calls me for help, she has like a business plan.
Oh.
And sometimes she just needed like $25 she needed gas. She gets paid tomorrow. She didn't want to go negative in her checking account or something. You know, she's a kid. She has like a 3-page business plan on how she's going to make sure this.
Hey, but that's good though.
And with her, I'm the other. I'm like, hey, listen, relax, calm down.
It's not that serious.
I don't need that. You can call me and say, hey, can I have $20? I need to get gas. I get paid tomorrow. I'm just, yeah, absolutely. But if she calls me, she'll usually have talked to her sisters, talked to her mom, called Kay Miller, came up with a plan with Kay Miller, and then intensified the plan. And she's over the top. I'm like, babe, I don't, and that, she's a talker and an informer and an information person. And I just need to know what the problem is.
Yeah.
And how to resolve. And sometimes I'm like, I don't need any of this information.
Yeah.
None of it.
Zero.
Nothing. What's the problem? If it's this small, just tell me what the problem is.
Yeah.
But
that's interesting.
Mm-hmm.
That's
they're all different.
They are.
They're all different.
They are. Delilah's probably I don't want to say the worst as a kid, but as far as like how easy it is for her compared to the other kids.
Jaden.
Because like we're not now that she's as old as she is, when my other kids were that old, we weren't in the position we are right now.
Jaden.
And it's like, come on, kid.
Jaden.
Come on, get it together.
Peyton and Gracie grew up with me.
Yeah.
Like I was not an adult making adult choices when they were babies and coming up.
Yeah.
And they had things definitely harder. Autumn is kind of that middle area where she kind of both, everyone in our family will say that Gracie like hit the lotto. I lived in tiny little studio apartments with my little kids, and like had nothing and trying to make magic happen out of
nothing,
thin air. And it's not her fault at all.
No,
it's not Jaden's fault at all, but Jaden has it we live in a nice house and have nice things. And like, I'm not wondering how I'm going to pay the rent.
Yeah. Versus before
you're like, I was like, I don't know what we're going to do.
Yeah.
So they're always like, oh, Jaden doesn't understand. Jaden doesn't. I'm like, no, she doesn't. And
she doesn't.
It's not her fault though.
Yeah.
It's not her fault.
Yeah. It's not.
It's my fault because I wasn't mature enough to have that same opportunity for you guys when you were little. But
yeah.
So it is.
Yeah. That's where the separation comes in.
See, Jaden's also the one that'll just request $25 for lunch. No conversation. No. You just get a request. Mm-hmm. Yeah. One of the apps, Venmo.
Nothing. It's just
Zelle. Just I need 25.
There's no business plan.
No. No, the business plan is I'm having lunch.
Yeah.
So I assume you're going to send it ahead of time.
Yeah. Because I'm hungry.
Because I'm I'm not going to go home for lunch.
And that's interesting.
Her school is 4.5 minutes away.
Yeah.
By car.
Oh, Delilah's is about 20.
And she's like, can't go home for lunch today.
Oh, gosh, I wish.
Going to Chili's.
Yeah. For what?
Whatever she wants.
No, I mean, listen, come on now.
Yeah, I'm like,
there's a sandwich.
Or right here in the house. Mm-hmm. I'll make the sandwich. Just tell me when you're on your way.
Yeah. No. It's crazy how different they are like that. Yeah.
Yeah. Yep. I want to take them back to my childhood every once in a while.
Yeah.
But that's neither here nor there.
No.
How do we keep doing this? One subject at a time.
Good question. Good question.
If people get bored of us just having these conversations, they'll probably start sending us topics that they want to hear about.
Yeah. I think they should.
I would appreciate it.
I had one.
Okay.
We could touch on it next week.
Okay.
Or not next week.
What's
Saturday?
Saturday. What's today? Today's Tuesday?
Tuesday.
Okay, Saturday. Go ahead.
Because of the holidays.
It's coming.
how do you split time if you're one of those people? Like you have a very cool, unique situation that probably 95% of the people don't have.
Let me tell you how I do it.
Yeah.
We're having Thanksgiving at my house, and they'll all be here.
That's
Both exes, their significant others, their extra kids.
And it's probably a great time. You know,
that's
what I
how
mean?
it works.
And that's how it should work. You know,
it hasn't always worked that way. And that's what people don't understand.
No, and having kids that are getting older, having their own families.
There's the problem.
You know what I'm saying? Like,
there's the problem.
Yeah.
We'll talk about it next.
Okay.
But there's a problem.
Yeah.
I'm still dad. And we're bumping our head into that kind of problem.
Yeah.
It's starting to happen. Because now they have families.
Yeah.
Now they have kids. Now they have significant others.
Yeah.
And they understand. We'll talk about it.
All right. We'll talk about that.
Two things real quick.
I
brought it down.
He brought it.
I brought it downstairs.
Bam.
See, it's on. There you go.
Bam.
This is the flashlight. It has not turned off. What was the date? Like the 6th or the 7th?
I think that's what we said. I'd have to go back on my text messages to check it out because
I send you a picture of it every day.
Yeah.
Now,
Every
I'm a little
night.
worried because I moved it. I moved it off my nightstand and I brought it down here so we could keep an eye on it. I will not touch it as far as power goes. We'll leave it right. But there's no reasonable scientific explanation. The flashlight's still on.
What? Yeah.
We're like 2 weeks.
There's no battery that should last that long.
There's no battery that can last that long in a flashlight.
No.
It's impossible. It just can't happen.
That one.
That's why I'm worried.
Or they've got something really cool figured out.
I think there's ghost stuff.
You think so?
Yep.
Have you ever seen a ghost? I have.
I don't know.
I have.
Maybe.
I have.
I've seen weird stuff.
I've seen weird stuff, but I have seen a ghost.
You've seen that, like an actual ghost,
yes.
like holographic ghost.
Yes. My cousin's wife.
Oh, she was haunting him? Probably.
He killed her.
Oh, God.
Yeah. Long story. It was like a Lacey. You remember Lacey Peterson in California?
Yeah.
It was something similar to that.
He had a new girlfriend, didn't want the baby and the mama?
2 new girlfriends and new kids.
Oh, I had extra
Something like that.
families.
Yeah. So,
Oh, we're telling this story soon.
Yeah, we'll tell it.
Yeah, we're telling this story soon.
Yeah, I'll tell it whenever.
Mm-hmm.
You know?
Yeah.
But
And you saw her?
in her house, yeah.
What'd you go to her house for, dummy?
He had gotten busted
Mhm.
because he was out for, I don't know, a couple weeks or whatever. He got busted. I went to their house to help clean some stuff out just to, because they had to, I don't know, get out or whatever.
He was going to jail probably, and they weren't going to live there anymore.
No, he was good in the,
Yeah.
and I was with one of my older sister.
Don't tell the whole story.
No. Well, we went to her house,
She
and
was
I
there.
seen her there, and I remember seeing her in the last thing she was wearing the last time I seen her alive, which was, I think it was probably a week or two, because her kids had a birthday party either at the end of June or beginning of July, and then that's happened. So whatever she was wearing last that I seen her at the party with,
She was wearing.
that's what she had on. He seen it too, because what we were carrying, he dropped, and I'm just like, what happened? I turn around, and there she was.
Mm.
And so I'll have to tell that story.
Yeah, we'll tell the whole story. I've definitely felt eerie shit and weird stuff. I can't believe, I don't know 100%. Kristen used to make me go stay at all the possible haunted hotels in Colorado. We'd stay up all damn night walking around the hotels because we were going to see a ghost. Never saw something.
Yo, listen.
Stanley, never saw anything. Colorado Hotel up in Glenwood, never saw anything.
Okay, there's one. I'm going to have to find it and send it to Kim Miller.
We also stayed all night at the Lumber Baron Mansion.
Is that the one in Boulder?
No, it's in Denver, where the two teens were killed. It used to be Lumber Baron Mansion. We'll put a link.
Put a link. I want to see it.
Mhm.
There's a place in New Mexico, and I believe it's kind of by Taos or something like that. But the room is actually locked with the lock. You can't even rent the room. But that one's supposed. I'll have to send it to Kim Miller.
There's also places in New Mexico that you can drive through and almost die.
See what I'm saying out? Yeah.
Remember those streets?
Oh, I wish I knew where that one was, because I would take JG down that one.
I need to go see. And we were on some weird ass. How did we end up on that course?
Don't know.
Because it was not the normal course that you would take down there or back. It was just, we should have died that day. Second thing I wanted to tell you is the days not leaving the house is now down to today's day 1.
Where'd you go? You left
Yeah,
today?
yesterday.
See, I told you.
My daughter made reservations
Oh,
because her significant other, it was his birthday. And I was like, why don't you guys just come down to the house and we'll cook? And she's like, no, we're going to do this, we're going to do that. So we went to Benihana's.
okay.
Benihana's is not worth anywhere near what you pay.
No,
No.
there's.
I got some fried rice that was made in bulk at my table, and I got probably an 8-ounce piece of New York strip that wasn't even the whole. And I think my meal was $37.50.
Yeah.
And they bring you that disgusting soup that nobody eats,
Oh, I love that. That I do
like
eat
the
that.
bone broth weird mushroom soup.
Oh, yeah, I eat the whole thing.
Oh yeah, you're probably the only one in the whole restaurant that eats it.
Me
I
and
watched them
JJ.
bring them out, and then I watched them pick them up every time we.
Oh, no, me and JJ finish them both.
And that terrible salad with whatever that.
See, I like
Ginger
that stuff.
root
I do
dressing.
think like we never go. We always go if we go because the lunch is half that price.
Mm-hmm.
We'll go to the lunch. We never go. We very rarely go to the.
If I want that, I just go to the other one that's not Benihana's. That's right up here at the Orchards,
Okay.
Mount Fuji.
Yeah, you like that one?
Guess what? Half the price.
That yeah. That one is
Or-
that one, but that one, and I feel like that one's better.
Or I'll
than-
just go to Who Hut.
yeah. You like
You
you
know, I
like
love
that.
me
You
some Who Hut,
love that.
yeah.
But the Mount Fuji, I feel like it's better than Benihana's. And there's another one that we go to in Aurora that I feel like if you ask me, I'm going to go to that one over the Benihana's.
Yeah.
Me personally.
Similar to like Mount Fuji up here.
Yeah, and not as expensive.
I'm going to tell you why I'm going to do at least 30 days in the house now. My daughter said, I'm an on-time person. My daughter said, hey, Dad, we have a reservation for 6:30. And I knew she really wanted us to go.
Yeah,
I think this is like the first time they've ever been a little bit ahead and they wanted to go to somewhere nice, kind of.
yeah.
And I immediately I was like, no, I'm not leaving the house. It's not, I don't want to do it. And of course, Kay Miller was like, we need to go. And I was like, all right, fine. She told me the reservation at 6:30. At 6:30, I get there. I look at Life 360. She's still at her house.
And how far of a drive is it for her?
30 minutes.
Oh, okay.
So I was like, I thought the reservation was 6:30. Oh, I'm sorry. I had to change it to 7.
Nobody told me.
I said, that doesn't constitute like a text message that says, hey guys, slow down. I had to move it back to 7 so we don't leave early. Knowing that the last thing I want to do in the entire world is be in public. And even worse than that, standing in the waiting area of a restaurant.
Well, so how long did you end up waiting?
Till 7. They showed up right at 7.
So she was technically on time. But
For her own
but
reservation, yeah.
yeah. But for what you got, she was late.
How do you not send that text?
Yeah.
Knowing that I don't want to be there.
And
I
there
don't
was-
want to
how
be in
many-
public.
How many were you guys were there?
It was like 12.
And she didn't tell just
I think she told a couple people
oh, but we
because
didn't
some
tell-
people showed up right before 7.
So we didn't tell Dad.
30 days.
30 days. We'll see. What's today?
I don't know.
The 26th.
Oh, yeah. No problem.
So you're gonna at least be over 30 days because 26 is the
Christmas,
April-
yeah. Day after Christmas. Ain't
All
going
right, we'll
anywhere that
see.
day.
We'll see.
The only thing I may do,
May. Okay.
so on Christmas Day, because our kids have families and a lot of times everyone comes here in the morning and then our house empties and there's just Kristen and I. So we usually go to the movies.
Oh, cool. Okay, if you do that, we'll still call it the 26th,
Okay.
the 30th day.
Okay. Because that's just been our thing. Like when all the kids go on Christmas, it's just us sitting in our house, and we've probably like 8 or 9 times we go to the movies. Just her and I go
Hang
chill.
out.
Yeah,
Nice.
that's it.
Okay.
So day one is today.
All right. Day one's today.
Day one is today. Flashlight's still on. Day like 14. I don't know what it is. I'm scared.
No, longer than 14.
I'm scared of it.
It's for sure longer.
I'm scared. I'm scared that we are going. If I turn it off, I'm afraid that bad things will happen.
I think you got to let it now. Now we're at the point where you have to let it turn off itself. You can't.
Yeah, you can't. No,
You can't turn it off.
no, it's got to be there.
No.
But that's
Even-
going to be that.
All right. Does it turn back on? Once it turns off is the question.
You mean just click the button and see if it turns right back on?
Yeah.
Oh God, if it does, then I'm moving. I like this house
But
a lot.
the
but I'm moving.
moment it turns off and then you have to recharge it, the battery's not for sure not going to recharge fully. Or do you think?
Because it's been like, I don't know. It's either gonna be a super battery, the greatest battery that ever happened, or it's never gonna charge.
What if they hear this podcast? Whoever made that battery,
Olight.
and
Olight Warrior.
and they come knocking on your door and say, "Hey, that was some kind of prototype that we're working on."
I'm telling you, Olight, you guys need to get a hold of me. I'm gonna right here, Olight. I'm pretty sure it's the Warrior. It's the M2R Warrior. Yep. It's been on that bright for over 14 days.
Olight, call them.
Olight, you need to call. You guys need to hook us up.
303-578-8680. Call them.
Or you can email, whatever you want.
Email,
Yeah.
comment, something.
You guys need to get with me because we need to be working together on this. And if you need your prototype back, let me know.
Yeah.
Because if that's what it is, cool. Then I feel a lot better.
Yeah.
All right.
All right.
Anything else?
Nope.
You sure?
I'm sure.
I'm going to be playing some GTA today.
Okay.
Jump in, guys. There's a link in the description of all of our videos to the Discord that gets you into our 5M City. Harvey was talking shit earlier. I was watching his Twitch. He was talking shit about he was going to do something to my gang.
Oh,
So it's on.
war.
On and cracking.
Uh-oh.
It's on.
You,
We're going to get the O'Neills.
okay.
So I'll be on that. Come hang out. It'll be fun. If you've never played, dude, try it. It's amazing. Patty Mayo official RP on 5M. Just join our Discord. There's a link in the description. And come join us. Anything else?
Nope.
With that, we'll see you guys in a couple days. Bye.